Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Kira Krakovesky.
Yes, you got it.
I got it right?
You got it right.
All right. It's not, it doesn't look that bad. I have like a fear now of last names. I sometimes MC weddings with DJ Hirsch, and I messed up a last name once.
Oh, like
And
introducing people?
yeah, so it wasn't even like the groomsman. It was the groom. What makes it even worse, it wasn't even his, like, I didn't even butcher his name. I gave him the wrong name.
Oh no.
Thankfully, yeah, because the way the sheet was, I just crossed it up. Thankfully, I knew who he was and I knew his wife, and it was an okay time to make a big screw up. But I'm still
Yeah.
paranoid.
Yeah, I mean, I would get that. That's actually not that I DJ weddings, but I always wonder, like, when people announce, like, when a DJ is announcing, like, the wedding party, like, how do you not, like, butcher these names? Some of
Yeah,
them are hard.
they
Names can
are.
be hard.
I was fortunate. I haven't had too many doozies, but I'm paranoid. I'll sit the whole car ride down, just like reading names.
Yeah, I
But
get that. I feel like I do the same.
yeah, so. But thanks for doing this. I
Absolutely. I'm so
appreciate your
happy to be
time.
here. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for
So
asking.
yeah, I saw you. You came up. I mean, so you and I go way back.
Way back.
Kind of. I don't think we've ever spoken. Um, you were and are friends with Rachel Pugh.
Yes. She's a doll.
Um, yeah, I think you may have been model of the week or some kind of weekender thing.
Weekender days, yes.
Okay, so I knew of you at that point, and I just kind of followed you, since back then, and now you're doing some cool things with bands, and you own a hair salon and a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we can catch up here.
Yeah, I love this.
But let's while we're talking about Rachel, real quick, I told her that you and I were chatting today,
Yay.
and I said, "Do you have any questions you want to ask her? You want to do any guest questions?" And she has said that she told you that Pamela Anderson started her own bathing suit line, and that she has a Baywatch suit.
Yes.
You were thinking of getting one. Did you get it?
I didn't get it.
Oh,
But
bummer.
there's still time.
Yeah, I mean, the
There's
internet
still
is a
time.
beautiful thing.
I love, I love that that was her question because she was at my shop when she launched the bathing suit line and we were looking at it and she's like, you need this bathing suit. Um, but I think that they're still available. So there's still time and summer is on its way. So
Well, if Pamela Anderson was smart, she'd have some available.
she definitely would. I mean, that's not just something that you get rid of.
Yeah.
A classic timeless bathing suit.
Yeah. So that's Rachel's question for you.
I love that. Thanks, Rach.
Yeah. I'm happy that we've been able to stay friends.
Oh, I know. She's a great gal.
Yeah. But what I saw recently was this, and you can explain more of what it is exactly, but it's a concept called Drop It Like It's Yacht
Yes.
that you became a part of.
Hmm.
And I was like, holy shit, I know the guy who kind of started it or kind of created it or helped create it, whatever. Jason Goldfarb from Near Dark Entertainment.
Yes.
I know him very well. I shouldn't say very well. I know him. I know John Henderson, which is like they do a lot of stuff together when they're
Okay.
booking projects. I know John Henderson very well. I'm like, holy shit, that's really cool. And I mean, yacht rock. Who doesn't love yacht rock, right?
I love Yacht Rock.
And then I dug a little further and I saw that you did what was it called? Go Go Retro.
Go Go Retro, yes.
That is coming to an end.
That has come to an end just on Sunday.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about both those projects because Go Go Retro was what, like a 2.5 year type of situation.
So Go Go Retro, I don't know, everybody's probably familiar with the project Go Go Gadget. So Go Go Retro was kind of a spin-off of Go Go Gadget. And we did retro music, 70s, 80s, 90s. And I'm with I've been with Three Hive Entertainment for that. Um, and it was put together for the band Magical Mystery Doors, which is an upcoming Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and the Doors tribute band. And that's kind of members from some bands that have been around. Some of the guys from Go Go Gadget, Vinny from Lost in Paris, kind of came together to create this tribute band. And while they were putting that together, they needed to kind of put together an act that can, financially support them in the meantime. So they came up with Go Go Retro. Um, and yeah, I was so honored and lucky to be a part of it. It's actually, we started in 2020, so it's actually been 4 years.
Oh wow.
Unfortunately, 2020 was a wash because of the pandemic. But we still did, rehearsals. We had some live streams. We did some fun stuff that year. And then we really hit hard in 2021. So, I've been really fortunate to be part of that project. Again, a lot of classic rock, 70s, 80s, 90s, stuff that, I'm really comfortable with, stuff that I love. And, we traveled everywhere to do it, just doing the cover band scene. Um, and yeah, I mean, we were everywhere. We did the thing. And then, this year they've, their tribute band got with new management, and from then on, they had to make a decision, I guess. What are they going to have time for? So they really don't have time to do both projects. So unfortunately, Go Go Retro had to come to an end. So we had our last show at the Yard in Atlantic City on Sunday, which was New Year's Eve. Um, so that was a lot of fun, a very emotional show for me, just because it's the end of an era. But there's always something new around the corner. But it's been really awesome just to be um, part of that band and on stage with those guys who've been playing, and they're just such multi-talented musicians. So it's been a great ride.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Go Go Gadget. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of started, I don't want to say in NEPA, but maybe kind of. Oh, you have a black cat
Yes.
too.
Yes.
I kicked my black cat out tonight. She was down here last night when I was recording a podcast and real pain in the ass.
Yes, they love to be part
They
of
love the
everything.
camera, yeah. Um, but it was cool to see like Go Go Gadget like start from. I remember they were playing Thursday nights at
The
Nightcaps
Woodlands.
at
Oh, at
Woodlands.
Nightcast. Yeah.
Yeah, they were Thursday night at Nightcaps, the Woodlands. Yeah, like and I mean they were great. And then it was crazy to see what they built.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Who was
still
the
going
leads?
strong.
Is there still is a Go Go Gadget?
Yeah, they're still Go Go Gadget.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who was the lead singer from that? He was kind of stepped away. He does Three Hive now.
Jeff Tomrow.
Jeff, yes, okay.
Hmm.
I follow him as well. Um, yeah, so it's cool that like, Go Go Gadget, Go Go Retro, and now you said the this other project is
Drop it like it.
Magical.
Oh, Magical Mystery Doors. Yeah.
It's
So
cool.
that's actually, and like I said, that's a tribute band to Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, and the Doors. Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys, and I don't know if there's ever girls involved, but outside you, obviously with Go Go Retro, but I mean that's a tight group.
It's a tight group. Yep.
Yeah, they do it right.
Yeah. It was
So
great being a part.
yeah. So enter Drop It Like It's Yacht. Talk about this whole concept because I mean it sounds awesome, sounds fun. It sounds like people want to be a part of it.
Yeah. So for those of you who might be listening that don't know what yacht rock is 70s and 80s smooth rock, soft rock. It's just like a brand new genre, a brand new title, I should say, for a genre that's been around. Soft rock has been around, but a lot of people, I think, are under the impression that I'm going on an actual yacht, but I'm not actually going on a yacht. It's just yacht rock themed. So
Right.
essentially anything that you would wear on a yacht. A lot of people show up, I guess, portraying that. So it's going to be a really exciting project. It's going to be hosted in clubs and venues. There's going to be an opportunity to dress up as if you're going on a yacht. There's going to be specialty drinks, and it's just a really big dance party um, that features yacht rock all night. And I'm really excited because I love yacht rock personally. I love classic rock and I love yacht rock because it's just like a branch off of that, just like obviously the softer version of it. And it's actually really funny how it came about because the one day I was talking to Jason and he was like, "So what are you gonna do like when retro's done?" And I was like, "I don't know, like I'd like to do something with yacht rock, like not even knowing. I've heard of Drop It Like It's Yacht, but I actually had no idea that he was involved." So he was like, "That's really funny." He's like, "Because I'm part of this project, Drop It Like It's Yacht, and like maybe this would be something that like we can incorporate you with." So he ended up asking me, and it's not a band, but it's a really a fun opportunity that I'll be able to be a DJ and also a host for these huge dance parties. And not only that, but like they've recently this year got signed with UTA, which is a national booking agency. So the project will be going all over the country, not physically on a boat, but we're going to pretend that we're going on a boat and party all night long.
So you said it's not a band.
So it's not a band. Nope.
So when you say we,
Hmm.
who is we?
So I'll be, showing up and kind of leading this party. Um, and the people that come dressed up, ready to
Gotcha.
party
The
and ready to
group.
dance, the group, um, that will be us.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So have you, I guess you've DJ'd before
a little bit. Yes.
a little bit. Okay. So the DJ host of Drop It Like It's Yacht.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if people don't know what yacht rock is, I mean, imagine going to the grocery store. A lot of that music, from what I remember when I used to work in a grocery store, a lot of that stuff, Michael McDonald
Hmm.
type of, Doobie Brothers.
Sure.
What else? I mean, there's countless songs that my buddies and I like. You'll hear it if you're in the grocery store or on classic rock stations, and I'll hear it, and I'll text them and we'll reminisce about times at the grocery store that we used to work at.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just fun. It's so I imagine people, ideally like captain's hats, maybe
Hmm.
white jackets,
White
open-toed
jackets,
shoes,
pipes.
pipes. Okay, pipes, nice.
Just dressing, fun. Wear a sailor outfit, sequins, a bathing suit, whatever you feel like you would go on a yacht with.
It sounds like so obviously bands are still uh a big part of entertainment, right? But I mean, you think about a lot of things like this is not a band. It's it's a DJ. You're hosting it,
Hmm.
and people are basically partying to music that's already been made. But you have like the emo nights that are popular now, like, and that's all just it's a DJ and a host. There's a
Yeah.
popular one locally in Scranton, well, out of Scranton, Screaming Infidelities, with Joe Caviston and DJ Hirsch. Very successful. So it's like these, it's kind of cool how these type of themes have been built and have become very popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People seem to really like the concept of just dressing up and going out and dancing to a specific theme all night.
Well, I feel like people want like it has to. I feel like it's become very hard for entertainers to get people to come out. No one like the days of sitting in a bar,
Yeah.
just staring at each other are kind of over. Like at least they are for me. I mean, I have two kids and I'm married and full-time job and I do this on the side. Like my time is limited. I need if I'm going out, it's for something like fun and exciting like this, like we're talking about now. But it just seems like that's kind of like you really need to have this big kind of thing going on for people to
Yeah.
want to be a part of.
Yeah. Go out and be a part of it
Yeah.
and really gets
So
people out.
for you, I mean, you are, is this gonna be like a huge change for you, like not being as, singing and a part of a band?
I think as of right now, it will be a change, just because for the past X amount of years, I've been in a band. But I also kind of am excited for the change, just in the sense that it's something different. Like, I'm not having to learn songs, I'm not having to remember lyrics, I'm not having to um, necessarily be the one singing the music. But at the same time, it's very much my speed because I'm still hyping people up, and getting them excited about songs that I love. So it's a little bit change of pace, but I'm actually looking forward to the change. Not saying that I wouldn't be in a band again. I just think that this is like a nice little break from what I'm used to, I guess you could say.
Yeah, part of the journey.
Part of the journey, yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll still do duo stuff. So I'm not completely out of the loop. Um, Duo and solo stuff, which is I've been doing longer than I've been in a band. So, um, still looking forward to having those moments as well.
There's something cool about, being a host or a DJ of a party. Like I said, I MC weddings sometimes, and like watching Hirsch like kind of read the audience and read the crowd, and like, the one wedding I'll never forget, the Phillies had just won a playoff game, and we
Yeah.
were in Lancaster, and there was the bridal party had said something about the Phillies, and I'm like, yo, dude, like next play this song because it was like the popular song that the Phillies would play. What was it called? Like Dancing on My Own, I think it was called.
Yeah. Huge Phillies.
And yeah, so he's like, I don't know, and I'm like, dude, just do it. And he played it, and they went nuts. It was like, and like it was awesome. Like I felt like I was part of the whole thing, and it was cool. And that's gotta be cool as like I said, a host, a DJ, like just kind of navigating that night, kind of
hmm
the highs and lows, and kind of just reading the crowd, like knowing when to play what song. And I mean, is that exciting?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. Again, it's music I love, and I think the concept of it is just awesome. So to be able to just like read these people and have fun and just get them hyped up, um, that sits really well with me. And like I said, that's part of what I'm used to doing, just a little bit of a different way.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to touch on all that like current stuff that's going on, in case people
Yeah,
decide to tune out. Um, but I want to kind of get into the history of who Kira is.
sure.
Born and raised in NEPA.
NEPA, NEPA.
Or NEPA, yeah. I don't know if I like NEPA. I guess I like NEPA better than NEPA.
Oh, I don't like NEPA.
NEPA's gross.
That sounds weird.
NEPA's not great. I always go with NEPA.
NEPA works.
Yeah. But and I think I've seen you throughout the years. You talk about doing duos. I think I've seen you with Mike Doherty.
hmm
Is
Yep.
that accurate? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. We played together for a long while, and still once in a while we'll link up to play a show.
Yeah. So I've known Mike, his brother TJ, one of my good friends. I remember Mike when he was probably 15 years old, playing in a band called Dirty Water.
Okay.
Uh, I think he was 15. I was probably just turned 21, and he was playing at bars with his parents present. I won't mention the bars names. Uh, he may have been a little older, maybe 17, maybe 18. But
hmm
I remember watching him play, him and Justin Mazer, if you know Justin.
Yeah.
And I remember like watching them and go, yo, these kids are like gonna do something. And obviously Justin Mazer has traveled the world with, uh, a number of different bands, playing the guitar, and it's awesome seeing what he's doing, and then Mike doing his thing. And I'm glad I wasn't wrong, I guess was what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's cool to see that they're both doing very well.
Yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, I could speak on Mike's behalf. I mean, he kills it. He's still all over the place, and he's just such a talented player and singer. So he goes out there and he gets it.
I'd like to see him do more rock stuff.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
think
That's
that would be
just
awesome.
I told his
He's
dad
very
that.
soulful. Mike's
Yeah,
very
I
soulful.
know, and that's fine. I get it. Like it's cool, but I mean, I want to see him do rock stuff.
Yeah,
I told his dad that at TJ's wedding, I think it was. I'm like, yo, you gotta get your son to do more rock stuff. But
I agree.
hear that, Mike? Do more
Yeah,
rock.
Mike, come on, 2024. Do some rock stuff for us.
The year of rock.
The year of the rock.
But I mean, has music been a part of your life forever? I mean, do you come from a musical family? How did that kind of come
So
about?
I don't come from a musical family in the sense of anybody in my family like actually played any instruments or sang. From a very young age, music was a big part of my life because it was always playing in my house, in the car, in every room of my house, no matter where I was, there was music. My mom swears that I was singing before I was talking just because I was so into these songs that, one day I was swinging in my little swing and she heard me mumbling these lyrics. And of course, like, back in those days, there wasn't a iPhone that you could just pick it up and take a
Right.
video. As soon as she went up to try to get the video camera, I stopped. So, but she swears that I was singing before I could talk. But just growing up, I mean, I was very influenced by like musicals, just The Wizard of Oz and Annie. And I just always took such a liking to anything that I could like put on an outfit and like perform, like if it was just for my parents or just for like the neighbors or my friends would come over and I'd be like, okay, it's time to play concert. Um, from a very young age, music was a big part of my life. And then when I got a little bit older, I think I was about 9 or 10, when I started taking it seriously and I got into vocal lessons. I started playing piano. Um, and really from there it just kind of took off. I mean, I did the whole theater thing. Like as a teenager, I was big into musical theater. But also like Mike, from a very young age, I think I played my first solo gig at a bar in Wilkes-Barre when I was about 13. I think I was 13, and I played for a fundraiser, I want to say. That was at a local bar. And from there, I just started booking. And my obviously parents would have to come out and be there and be present when I was playing. But I was playing out from a very young age, just me and the piano. Um, I started doing sets with bands just because. Um, and yeah, from there, it just kind of took off. I started writing my own music, and the rest is really history.
So you're playing out live in front of people at 13. I mean,
Yeah.
were you nervous? Like, or was that just kind of like, hey, this is cool. This is what I'm doing.
I just thought it was like really cool at the time. I never was nervous. If anything made me nervous, it was like something silly, like I was gonna sneeze or I was gonna forget a lyric. But it wasn't necessarily the fact that there was like people in front of me and I was like singing and playing. It was like really like small stuff that like didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and typically, and I'm still like this till this day, but if there, the more the people, the better. Um, like if I was just playing at home, practicing in front of my parents and like maybe a friend, I would be like shaking. But then put me out in a bar and there's 50, 75 people, I was like, this is great. Like I just felt like totally myself. Like I could just do what I wanted to do.
Yeah. It's probably good to do it when you're young too, though, because you don't overthink a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because as an adult, you're like, oh, like you think you have this kind of like reputation or you just overthink things. And when you're young, you're just kind of like that innocence, I guess you could say. Um, you just don't think about that kind of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's taken me on a really cool road. I ended up leaving high school when I was in 10th grade. I actually joined a girl group out of Philadelphia. And we spent our time between Philadelphia and New York. Um, and I learned a lot with that project just because we worked in so many studios, and it really gave me good experience for like just what it's like to be in recording studios all day, and you know all the takes that is involved in creating a song, and just a lot of studio experience came from that project. The project only lasted about a year, but I stayed out of school doing cyber school, just so that I continued to work on projects. I worked on a lot of original music, and yeah, it was really cool.
I was gonna say you dropped out of school or you just did cyber school?
So I just did cyber school. So I
Okay.
stopped physically showing up in school.
Yeah.
I just did all my schooling online.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What did your parents think about that?
They were 100% for it. I mean, my parents, my mom really was my biggest support. She still is. Um, so she knew how passionate I was about music, and she was there to make it happen, Anything that I wanted to do musically, she was 100% for. Um, so when I, auditioned and then finally got the role in this girl group, she was like, "Okay, like this is what it's going to involve. Like, you're going to have to obviously be very disciplined to cyber school yourself. And if you can, keep up your grades and do this, this is what we're going to do."
And what year was that?
2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, music and arts and all that kind of stuff, like whenever a kid says they have these dreams to do that, right? The first thing their parents say is like, "Oh, you're never gonna make it," or "You won't make any money doing that," blah blah blah. So I always find it like really fascinating and really cool when there's situations like yours where you're like, "I want to go do this in 10th grade. I'm going to remove myself from school. I'll still do cyber school." And your
Yeah.
parents are like, "Yeah, let's see where we can
Let's
go with
do it.
this."
Yeah. Let's see.
And that happens a lot with people I talk to, which is I guess that's what you have to do. It's if you take the safe road and kind of just play by the rules and do all that kind of stuff, you'll never know, and
Right.
then you'll live with regret or just
Regret.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what did your friends think about that? Like, hey, I'm leaving school. I'll see you later. I'm gonna go pursue
Um,
music.
it was funny because at the time the kids were either like, "Oh, she thinks she's too good for us," or other people were like, "Yo, this bitch is gonna be famous." You know what I mean? Like it was one or
Yeah,
the other. Like people were either like, "Oh, whatever," like like a jealous type, like whatever, or they were just like, "Yo, like go, like you're gonna be famous, like remember us," like you know how it is when you're in school.
yeah.
So I kind of dealt with one or the other, but I was just so determined to do it. I mean, that's what I loved to do. So it was a little bit of an adjustment, obviously, being in high school and having to teach yourself and do the work and stay on top of everything when you had like all this other exciting stuff going on. But me and the other two girls that were in the group at the time, um, they cyber schooled as well. So we all cyber schooled. Um, we all spent most of our days, it was with a choreographer in the studio or doing photo shoots. It was very involved for the time being that I was in the project. And although it never ended up going anywhere, like I could never match that experience, especially at such a young age.
That's what it is. It's experiences, and I think there's so much to be learned from those types of things. Like
Yeah.
maybe even more important than a book.
Yeah.
In school, there's you can read a book and follow what you read and what you're told, but there's nothing better than like firsthand experience. So.
You are very right.
So that project lasts, you said, like about a year or so. I mean,
Yeah.
did you finish school during that project, or did that end first, then you finish school after that?
That ended first, and I finished school. So that was 10th grade. It lasted a year. Um, so I still had another year in me. I still had my senior year,
Did
and
you
I
go back
ended
to
up.
school?
I didn't. I stayed cyber schooling. I stayed focusing on original music, and at the time I was going in and out of the city for a lot of auditions, just for little things, commercials, you name it. Um, so I stayed very active in my career and what I wanted to do. And then I did graduate with highest honors, so I did well for myself. Um, and yeah, I wrote out cyber school right till I graduated,
Okay,
but stayed very committed to the craft at the same time.
that's good.
Yeah.
And then what after high school? Where'd you go?
So after high school, I decided to go out to LA for a little bit. Lived in LA for a little bit, did the whole original music thing, worked with different producers, was in and out of a lot of writing sessions, was auditioning like crazy, booked different gigs to help me to live out there. I worked at a nightclub. I tried doing college online. And then it just kind of crashed because I realized I did not like the West Coast like I thought maybe I would.
Yeah,
I had been out there a couple times to do work. Um, and you go out there a couple times and you're like, this is cool, this is fun. But then once you're living there, like some of that like kind of goes away.
yeah.
And I think I'm an East Coast girl through and through. So I wanted to come home. I no longer wanted to do college. My mom really wanted me to at least do college online. I didn't want to do that. I took a semester off because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I worked like 5 jobs. And then I decided to go to beauty school, which at the time everybody was against. um, and then one day I just like showed up and I was like, yeah, I signed up for beauty school and I start in a couple days and that was it.
Why do you think people were against beauty school?
I think in a way I had been so involved with music that my mom kind of felt like I was giving up a dream by going to school to do something else. Um, and for some reason, I don't think it is so much like that now, but there used to be this like stigma around beauty school that it was like some type of like low end job
Right.
that like, oh, you're going to beauty school. Like everybody would just go to beauty school. Um, but that's also something that I always took a passion in. Like I always, loved doing hair and doing makeup, whether it was for my friends or just for like theater stuff. Like I always had a passion and a knack for that too. And at the time, and like everything else was like crazy, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, it was like, I'm going to go to beauty school because if I do that, like at least I could have a job. Like no matter where I ended up, I felt like I could take that with me, you know?
Yeah.
And the college thing just wasn't really like settling with me at the time. So I was just like, I need to do something. I can't just work 5 jobs forever. So I just went to beauty school.
Yeah, I feel like you said, beauty school had a stigma to it, and it was
It
like
did.
if you couldn't make it in college, if you couldn't cut it, if like you gave up and you quit, and like, all right,
Right.
well, I guess I'll just go
Oh,
do
well,
it.
go to beauty school. Yeah.
And I think, well, I think, and maybe you probably know more about this than I do, obviously, but it's obviously much different now
Yeah.
than it was, even like 10, 15 years ago. Um, and it's like I think it's like a lot of trades, right? Because I mean, I guess is it, you can consider that a trade, right?
It's a treat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But like anything, like I mean, there was so like people shit on trades,
Yeah.
but and then now it's like try and find a plumber, try and find a contractor, try and
Right.
find an electrician. All
Hmm.
those guys or girls, they can basically name their price,
Hmm.
and they're hard to find, and they have very little debt, if any, at
Yeah.
this point. If they're in the trade for a while, like that's just paid off. Like so many years that was like shit on, and now it's like who's
Yeah.
laughing now?
Exactly.
And I think with the beauty industry and all that kind of stuff, there's so many different avenues within it. With the internet and social media and TikTok. Like I interviewed Erin Dugan, your check. I don't know if you know her or not.
Hmm.
She's like a beauty influencer. Like she's
Yeah.
doing things that she never thought were even possible.
Right.
And it's like it's really cool to see how like that kind of stuff plays out. And you never know. It's
Yeah.
one of those you never know.
No. And at the time, I mean, it's something I was passionate about, and I kind of was like, I won't know unless I try this, and even if I don't like it, I have a license. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, where could I go wrong?
It was 2016. I was at the Weekender and then I was in radio for 7 years. And my second year of radio, I guess it was, I almost decided to just go be a barber. And there were a few different things, like reasons I didn't. I think I was more caught up in like um the moment of being in a barber shop, like hanging out, shooting the shit, watching TV, like the culture, things like that. And I'm also very like anal about things.
Yeah.
I think that if I tried cutting hair, I probably would have like if I messed up a line, I probably would have tried to fix it and then fix it and
Mm-hmm.
then fix it and
Fix
then I'd be
it.
end up shaving some heads.
Yeah.
I mean, when I paint rooms in my house, like I'm very meticulous about stuff. I remember the last one I painted for my daughter's nursery, I got all 4 or 5 walls, whatever how many walls there were in this room. The last one, it was the last wall in the room, like and to the last corner, and I was doing the top, and I my brush hit the ceiling. And I'm like, God, lost my mind, lost my mind. I was
Right.
so angry. That shit bothers me so much.
Genius. Yeah.
Uh, so I don't know if I would have been a good barber. I would have been a good like barber in a sense of like socializing and making people
Sure.
feel comfortable in the chair.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Um, but like the culture was so cool to me. Like, um, but I don't know if I could have cut it. And I feel like, and I was kind of like these guys at Loyalty actually. It was like, hey, we want to come and bring you on as an apprentice. And I was like, I look around, I'm like, oh, okay, you play an instrument, you're an artist. Like, I feel like there's a side of people's brains that kind of like are good for that stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're like that too. Like, you're an artist, you're creative, all that kind of like. I don't have that side of my brain doesn't work. It just doesn't. I can't play
And
music. I can
but
kind of
you learn.
draw. I used to. I love it, yeah, but I can't
Okay,
play it.
drawing still takes part of that. I mean, not just anybody could pick up a pencil
Well,
and draw something.
when I was younger, I drew. Like I haven't in a long time, but I don't
Maybe
know.
this is the year. Maybe you need to take the drawing back up.
I
Give
don't
yourself a
know.
little creative outlet.
If this is my outlet right here. Like if I do anything, I need to like jump on the Peloton or lift some kettlebells or do something health wise. If I do anything this year extra, it's gonna be that. It has to be that. Because everyone's like, oh, it's not too late to start. I'm like, listen, I'm not picking up the guitar right now. I'm not doing that. Like, it's just there's not
A
enough
lot.
time. It's not enough time in
Yeah.
the day. There's just not.
Takes dedication.
It does, and I just don't have
Takes
it.
time. It takes time.
Yeah, yeah, everything does. I guess if and it's
Everything.
like they always say, well, if you really want to do it, you'll do it, and it's like fair, fair, okay, but it looks like it worked out for you. You went to beauty school, and tell me where you're at now.
So it worked out for me. Um, I left beauty school, um, and I was very in tune with everything going on. Like, I think the thing with beauty school is like they don't teach you a whole lot. They pretty much teach you like what you need to learn to pass a board and get your license. Um, but when it comes to like being innovative and keeping up on trends and styles, that's kind of where it falls off. So I was really into it. I mean, I assisted at 2 salons while I worked in beauty school. Anything that I could learn, I was trying to learn. People were coming in with pictures of things, and I was doing things on people that my teachers were yelling at me and telling me I couldn't do it. And I was like, no, I saw on this was 10 years ago. So I was like, no, I saw on this platform called Instagram that like this is what you do. And they were like, no, like that's not going to come out right. And I'm like, no, just trust me. Like, it was a lot of it was just kind of being rebellious and being like, no, 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 like just trust me. Like I got this. So when I came out of beauty school, like I still was like going to classes and just trying to absorb everything. I worked at two salons, ended up transferring to one salon, and I just kind of took a leap in trusting that it was going to work. Um, and at the time, social media was still so new, Instagram was still so new. So I really used the platform to gain my clientele. Um, and it just worked. Like I feel weird saying like there was never really a time where I had to like sit around and like wait for it. Like it social media really was a great tool in launching my career. Um so I got a lot of experience. I worked for about 6 or 7 years with my one of my best friends. Um, and then it was just the pandemic happened, and after that, I just felt within me that I needed a shift. I needed something new, and that's when I decided to open up my own business. And yeah, I opened up, and I really never looked back.
And what's that called?
So my business is called Lux Lunar, and it's a beauty salon.
There's something special about, you know, having something to call your own,
Hmm.
you know? You said you worked for 7 years and you're always, it's like you're under someone's umbrella. Um, I'm not sure how it works, but I know like in the barber world, I'm sure it's probably similar. You paid like for the chair, like a
Yes,
rental fee or whatever that's called. Um, so talk about, I mean, obviously the pandemic affected all of us in different ways.
sure.
You were able to decide, hey, like I'm going to take a chance on me, roll the dice on myself, and open up my
Yeah.
own salon. The cat's back.
Star of the show. Star of the show. Give me
Mine would be here
attention.
too if I let her down here. Um, but like with that being said, I mean, there's got to be, well, for you, I mean, you've always took risks. You've always
Yes. Always
kind of
been a risk
said,
taker.
yeah, I've always kind of said, fuck it, this is what I'm doing.
I'm
And if
doing
it
it.
doesn't
Yeah.
work out, I'll figure it out. Like
I'll
no big
figure it
deal.
out. Yes.
I'm jealous of people like you. I'm jealous of people who, because I've never done that. I've never, I mean, doing this podcast is probably the most, I don't know, not similar by any means, but it's like when I started this, I was when the weekender days ended, I put blood, sweat, and tears into that. Then when I was in radio, I had the radio show, and I feel like I did more for the station than it did for itself, and I was tired of building things for other people, so I wanted to have something for myself.
Yeah.
Now, I don't generate money from doing this. It's very much a passion project, but I love it. Um, but the only person that could, pull the plug is me. The only person that could make it fail is me. So I like that. No one else can take this from me.
Right.
And there's a lot to be said about that. But getting back to what I said, I'm jealous and not in a bad way, but that people can just like, yes, you know what, I'm doing this. I'm gonna take the risk. I'm gonna
Yeah.
and opening and starting a business and keeping a business, and they don't make it easy.
No.
There's a lot of red tape you got to go through, and
Yes.
I'm sure with your business, a lot of licenses that are involved and all kinds of things. You have probably
A lot of
employees.
hoops that you have to jump through
Yeah, and it's
just to open the place.
right.
Like, whew.
Yeah, I mean, talk about that. I mean, obviously, you probably had an idea of what was what was involved because you worked
Yeah.
at salons. I'm sure you kind of saw around you what they were going through, but
Yes.
talk about the that process because like it's not easy. Not everyone does it.
No, I mean, it's not. So it was actually really funny. I found the space before I really like thought what I was doing. I saw a space and I was like, that would make a good salon. And then I passed it another day and I was like, oh, somebody's working there. I'm gonna just stop and be like, hey, what is this? And they were like, oh, it's just like, we're creating the suite. It was like in kind of like a strip mall situation. Like it's gonna be individual businesses, they're gonna be leased out. And I was like, okay. And the worker was like, do you want the guy's number? And I was like, sure. So I like randomly called him and he was like, oh, are you looking to open a business? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, okay, like, do you want to come like look or like talk? I was like, sure. And again, like I showed up and I didn't know, like, this was just like I passed one day and I got this like spark in me that I was like, I should open a business here. And the more that I found out about it, I was like, let me think about this. And I went home and I did some research and then I did some more research. And then I like played with some numbers. And then I was just like, I'm going to do this. So the process isn't easy. I mean, you have to learn a lot, like tax wise. And, you know, I mean, I was building salon furniture. Like, I'm not a builder. Like I don't know about this kind of stuff. Like I was nervous when people would be sitting on my chairs. I'm like, please don't break. You know what I mean? Like it was me and my mom, like it was me and my mom and we're like there like trying to like put this furniture together and like, I just had this vision and that's what I was trying to chase. So, yeah, I mean, it was an awesome experience, and it's not something that I would ever say like I take back. And I think anybody that is interested in having a business, like it's something to at least take a chance on. Because again, like you said, like, and that's still my attitude. Like, if one day it just stops working, like I'll figure it out. Like, I'll figure something out. Like, you gotta just, you gotta take chances.
Yeah. One of those things I wish I took chances when I was younger. Because now it's like, like married, wife, kids, house, mortgage.
Sure.
It's like I can't like, hey kids, like we're not gonna eat tonight.
We're not gonna eat
We're
tonight.
not
Sorry.
like if yeah, daddy, like I'm gonna go try and live a dream. I'm gonna make half what I
Yes.
make now. It's like so I guess the point is like if you have an idea in your head or and if you don't have major responsibilities,
Major responsibilities, sure.
take the risk, do it.
Take it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you what 3 years now with the salon?
2.5. Yeah,
Two and
two
a
and
half.
a half. Yeah.
And where's that located?
In Hazel Township.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have employees too that work there?
I do. I have a couple girls that work for me. One that works a lot, and the other two are part time, which they have their own things going
Yeah.
on, so it's their part time gig, and that's cool too.
And that's responsibility for you. Like, I mean, I work for a small business. I work for Axelrad Screen Printing. And I know that the owners of that place, like, they're really, um, proud to be able to offer jobs to, friends or, just people that need jobs.
Sure.
And I'm sure that, when they go to sleep at night, they're not only worried about their business because it's their business and their livelihood for their family, but they're also thinking about, um, the people they employ and their families. And if anything happens to the business, what happens to them?
Exactly.
It's I don't think people really appreciate um business owners. They go to work, they go home, and they think that the boss is counting millions of dollars and lighting money on fire. And
Right. Right.
there's a lot of stress that is involved with,
There's a lot of stress.
especially
Yes.
this economy that we're in right now, right? It's 2024. 2023 was not a I don't think it was a great year. I don't know how it was
No.
for your profession in the beauty world. But now we're in 2024. It's an election year. It's going to be weird. They just released a second round of names on the Epstein files or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a weird year. It's gonna be a really weird year. People are uneasy. People are scared. So what I'm getting at is owning a business in this kind of atmosphere is stressful,
It's very stressful. Yeah.
but you wear it
Times
very
are
well.
high, times are low,
Yeah,
and you just got to navigate through it all.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, obviously, you have the salon. You are this drop it like it's yacht is gonna kick off pretty soon. Um, I guess the salon offers you a lot of flexibility to be able to
Yes.
do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean that's
Yes.
that's that's perfect too.
It's awesome. I mean, obviously, I get to make my own schedule. I'm typically in Monday through Thursday. The weekends, I'm used to being away with the band. Now I'll be away with this project. Um, and yeah, I just keep it rolling.
So thoughts for this year? I mean, outside of, this new Drop It Like It's Yacht project, what's in store for Kira? Any big
So
plans?
I don't have anything crazy. Like I said, um, it's a big year of change, I think, for me.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, it kicked off as a big change for me. A huge part of me that I've been used to has come to a close, and now I'm taking on a new endeavor that hopefully I'll be good at. um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's all about like seeing where things go and what opportunities arise, and just really honing in on what I want to do next, and what's really next for me, even musically. Because I know I'm not done, but I know I needed a break, obviously, from being in bands. So we'll see what's next.
just going with the flow.
Just going with the flow, seeing what opportunities come up, and figuring it out.
Well, I mean, this last chapter couldn't have ended at a better time. I mean, it's
No,
close out the year, you start the year fresh. Like that's kind of cool.
it is. And I mean, it's been such an emotional week just trying to process that, because there's positives in it, and then there's also, things that are sad about it. So it's really been a bittersweet situation, but I'm really excited for the guys, and I'm excited for myself, because now I have all this opportunity to see, you know, what sticks.
Yeah. Wildest show you ever played?
The wildest show I ever played, on a personal level, we did Thon, Retro did Thon,
Yes.
at the Bryce Jordan Center the past 2 years. And playing that arena might have been the wildest shows I've ever played, because nothing in my personal career matched that energy, and just that, like, there's so many emotions going on, there's so much energy, like there's so much, like, just emotional, reasoning why you're there and why people are there and what they're doing. Um, and honestly, just being able to perform in front of a crowd that big and that into what you're doing, I would personally probably say it was the craziest show I've ever played, because it's just like wild.
Yeah. Now, what I'm going to say is nothing against Thon. I think Thon is a great thing, and 99% of me is kidding when I say this. I still think Penn State is a cult. I have like
It
my best
might
friends,
be.
my best friends, like his name's Chris. He went to Penn State, Maine, met his wife at Penn State, Maine. I went down and partied at Penn State, Maine because he was there. Like, I mean, I have great moments being at
Yeah,
on that campus. But man, damn, if you go to Penn State, it's like that's in you forever. And I'm like,
it
what,
is.
dude, what did you drink down there?
Right. Yeah.
Maybe it's jealousy. Maybe it's because I'm like out the King's College.
I mean, hey,
Great.
I've never had that college experience, and I think the same, because Penn State people, it's like their blood is like blue and white. Like
Yeah, it's amazing.
they
And
drink something there for sure.
maybe something happened to them that like I just didn't get to experience at King's College. But
Correct.
maybe I just didn't embrace college the way that that campus uh just kind of makes you feel. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I joke with my I mean, I was just at Penn State back in October for a work event, and that was the first time back in shit, probably at least 15 years, if not more. And it's just wild to see how much it's been built up
Yeah.
over the years. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's like its own little city. Like no one has to leave that place ever,
No. No.
which is
And
awesome.
like before Thon, before being involved with Thon, I've never really had a reason to go to Penn State. So like I just thought it was like this little town in the middle of nowhere where people decided they wanted to go be in school for 4 years. And then I went there and I'm like, oh, they have like all this stuff there. Oh, they have like, I was like, okay, I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. It's not a little town. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere, but like it's like you said, it's its own city. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy.
sweet. Yeah, great restaurants. Yeah, I just like shitting on them a little bit. I have friends that just, yeah, just they.
You're obligated to, yeah.
My dad went to Penn State.
Nice.
Not main campus. He's graduate
Sure.
of like Wilkes-Barre campus. But he and I went to some games. He took me to some games when he was around, and yeah, I mean, so I like Penn State for those reasons. Friends and my dad,
Yeah,
but I like to make fun of my friends and say they're in a cult.
absolutely. I get it.
Worst show you ever played? You ever play a show and no one showed up?
Worst show we've ever played.
Was there a drunk guy that was inappropriate?
We once played a wedding where in the middle of the wedding, some one of the guests had a heart attack.
That's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And we kind of, I mean, obviously we stopped and it was just like stressful and the bride was crying and the people were freaking out and then the ambulance came and like nobody knew what was going on. So I would have to probably say that was the worst show just because like scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
That's fair.
Yeah, and on somebody's wedding day, like imagine that being like your wedding memory.
Oh, I couldn't. Yeah. I feel like I was thinking about this recently. I don't know why. Um, but yeah, something bad happening at a wedding and how like for the rest of your life, like
Yeah.
the day that's one reason I love weddings is because that's like the happiest day of someone or two people's
Of
lives,
two people's lives, yeah.
if not just them, but like their families, their friends. Like I tear up at weddings that I do.
Yeah.
Just because like out of happiness. Like it just
Sure.
I love happiness. I love being a part of it. I love seeing people happy. And no matter what happens, even if they get divorced 2 years, from then, at least that day, that moment, they were happy.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I agree.
weddings are cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Unfortunately, we got to play a lot of great weddings where that didn't happen. And we got to make, be a part of a lot of weddings and people's days. So thumbs up to that. But that one wedding, whew,
yeah,
stress.
of all the things that you do, I mean, I feel like everything you do makes people feel better.
Yeah.
Hair salon, people go there, they leave feeling like $1 million. Like
Hmm.
that has to be so rewarding.
So rewarding.
You own the business, so you're also providing, like I said before, jobs for employees. You're in bands and you're in these projects, and obviously people are going out to see you perform or be entertained. Um, what's that like? I mean, what does all that mean to you?
It honestly means so much. Like, honestly, I mean, even getting into the beauty industry, my biggest drive in it has always been making people feel better about themselves. I think that it's a really, I mean, most of my clientele is women. I think it's a very hard world for women to be in. I think there's a lot of expectations. I think, there's a lot of insecurity. And I just always wanted to be that light that if I could just make somebody light up, like when I spin that chair around and they see their hair and I see that smile on their face, like there's nothing that beats that for me. Like you're making somebody's day by just doing something you love. Like it's it's literally priceless. And it's really the same for music. I mean, like somebody could be having the worst day of their life and they just need to go out and, be with friends and they get to dance and hear music and you just see the genuine smile on people's faces. Like I like you kind of like what you said, like I enjoy seeing people happy. Like there's nothing really that beats that. So it's a fulfilling feeling, but it's it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, growing up and taking the risks that you made, I mean, was that part of the whole process? Like, I want to do these things because I can have a positive impact, or was it maybe that plus also just fulfillment for you? Or maybe that wasn't even a thought. Like this is just like, hey, this is what I want to do with my life. And then that was kind of like a, an added bonus.
I think honestly it was a mixture of both. It fulfilled me and it's something I was passionate about. But I remember from a young age like posting original music online and like people coming to you and be like this song meant so much to me, like I'm going through XYZ and this was like exactly what I needed to hear. Like so you would just hear like people's stories like that it's crazy. I mean, even just for example, like that was when I was younger and this was a goal, but even for example, this past Sunday, I mean, the amount of people that came from all over the place and were actually like crying, like shedding tears about the fact that the band was done, like just telling us like stories of when they came to see us and like what it meant for them to come see us and how it took them out of like whatever they were going through and they looked forward to like it was just so touching to see like the impact that you could leave on people, whether it's writing your own music, doing their hair, playing in a cover band, playing a song that they love that they get to hear your rendition of. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's
It's,
unmatched.
it's special.
It's special.
It's definitely special.
Yeah.
So good for you and congratulations on all of that.
Thank you.
Real quick, I'll let you go. Um, we barely touched on it, but you mentioned, your own original stuff.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of that available? Is that something that you focus on a lot? Some wish you had more time for? I mean, what does that space look like for you?
So it's been a little bit since I've done original music. Um I kind of fell Not I mean, I think I think what I've loved so much about doing covers is that it took a lot of pressure off of you when it came to original music. At least in the pop circuit, that's kind of what turned me off from doing original music. Is like writing out in LA, like everybody wants to take your song and like split it into a million pieces. It's like,
Mm.
oh no, you need this lyric. That lyric doesn't work. It has to be about this. Like it has to fit in this box. Like there's too many rules. And like I just wanted to make people happy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I found this cover band world where you like go out and sing other people's songs and people love it. So I was like, this is awesome. I'm doing what I love, but the pressure's off of me. So I kind of took a really long break from writing and putting out my own stuff. But that's not to say from time to time something doesn't pop into my head and I write it. Um, and you never know. Maybe I will do something with it.
Maybe you get
You
that
know?
itch when you're
Yeah.
when you're post DJ and hosting these
Yeah.
you'll be like, I need to now do you play guitar or is it just piano?
I play piano. I play a little bit of
Play
guitar,
guitar?
not anything to go crazy with, but
Sure.
I could play some songs. But mainly a piano girl.
Okay. Fair enough. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things, all the naysayers, people growing up and you can kind of look back and not laugh because you're not that type of person from what I gather from you. You're probably one of those people who probably like, bless your heart.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a you didn't do these things to, rub it in their faces or to prove them wrong. You did them all for yourself and everything you've done, you've wanted to do for yourself. And
Yeah.
that's great. And it's a really cool thing. And yeah, I mean, there's not a lot I can say about that other than good for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I appreciate your time.
Thank you so
Best
much.
best of luck with Drop It Like It's Yacht.
Thank you.
If you
I'm
see
very
Jason,
excited.
if you see Jason, tell him I said hello.
I definitely will tell him. I'll let him know.
It's been a minute since I've seen him. I'm trying to think of the last time I saw him. Like I said, our mutual friend is John Henderson. Um, he's got the AC Beer Fest coming up in March
Yeah,
and or March or April. And Jason does all the booking for those events.
he does. Yes.
Um, March or April, maybe early April, and then he's doing the summer sessions. because his whole business changed with when COVID hit too.
Yeah,
Um, so I'm glad they've been bringing great entertainment to Atlantic City.
they are.
So
Yeah, and actually, so Drop It Like It's Yacht it's Jason Goldfarbs and Ryan Kelly from Ever Artist Management. Um, so it's their project together.
cool.
I'm not sure if you know him. He's from Garden State Radio. Now he has
I
Ever Artist Management.
I know the name Garden State Radio. Actually, when I was working in radio, I tried to, or I was doing an event for LT Verastro, and I hit up Jason looking
Nice,
for a top level um, cover band, and
nice.
Garden State Radio was one of them. It didn't work out, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're cool people. I'm really
yeah,
excited to be on board with this group. Um, they're doing cool things.
can people find your original music on Spotify?
I don't think any of it would be on Spotify. It would
No.
probably be on SoundCloud.
Okay, just curious.
Um, but there's things out there, so
Okay, cool.
it's on there. Yeah,
Well, looking forward to 2024 for you. Looking forward
yeah.
to seeing photos of the yacht parties, not on a
Yes.
yacht, but yacht parties.
Not on a yacht, but
Yeah,
acting like we are.
but dress like you are, party like you are.
Yes.
It's all good vibes. It's all good things. And then, best of luck with your business,
Thank you so
Lux
much.
and Lunar, right?
Yep, Lux Lunar.
And tell your cat I said hello.
He definitely wants to be on the podcast.
Yeah. What's his name?
Big fan. His name's Zeppelin.
Zeppelin.
Yep.
Fitting. My cat's name is Mooch.
Oh, I love that.
In fact, um, we're recording this. This probably won't come out for another week and a half. But today, as a matter of fact, in 2015, so 9 years ago today, is when this cat Mooch first made contact with us
Wow.
at a couple houses ago. She came on the back porch. We saw little footprints, and it was January. It was cold. Um, my wife, being the bleeding heart and wonderful woman that she is, and a cat lover as well, kind of saw the footprints, and so it was the tarp or the table on the deck that we had, so we had like a little space there for it if they wanted to get out of the cold.
Sure.
And then I think a month later, after she started feeding her, and eventually we made contact with the cat. I wanted nothing to do with a new cat. We had a cat. The cat we had was diabetic.
Oh.
Wasn't like, we weren't in, trying to mix these two together was not an ideal situation. But we made contact with the cat, and it was over after that. I remember I was like, we're not getting this cat in here, not going to happen. And it sat outside by the sliding glass door from the deck into the kitchen area. And I remember it meowing and seeing little puffs of air coming out of its mouth. And I'm like, oh, I'm not that kind of person. I can't, I can't let it sit out there.
Ah,
So yeah, we had named her, or we didn't even know if it was a he or her at the time, but we named it Mooch before we ever made contact because it would come, take food, and leave.
yeah.
So we called it Mooch
Lovely
before we even
Mooch,
had
yeah.
it. Yeah, so she's my diabetic cat died in 2022.
Oh,
He was 18,
oh
and
wow.
he was diabetic for um 2022. He was so 10 years. So if he's almost 18. He was diabetic for 10. So out of the 17 full years, he was diabetic for 10 of them, which is like my vet was like, this is unheard of. There's
Yeah,
like this never happens. Like
he lived a good life.
you're doing something right. Insulin shots twice a day, like clockwork, 7 a.m., 7 p.m. He's like, most people would just like put it down or just, because insulin was expensive for a cat,
Yeah,
$300 a vial. It would last a few months, but
yeah, that's expensive.
yeah, it was an investment, but I'll have his memory forever.
Yeah, you gave him a good life. That's awesome.
We did. It was great. But on that note, I'll let you go.
Perfect.
Best of luck with the hair salon. Best of luck with Drop It Like It's Yacht. Hopefully, if you play some acoustic shows or duo shows, maybe I'll catch you out playing
Yeah,
live.
absolutely. Come on. Come
But I
on out.
appreciate your time very much. It was
Thank you so
great
much for having me. Yeah.
officially meeting you. Um,
Yes.
and we'll stay in touch.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks so
Love
much.
it.
All right,
Thank you. Have a
we'll
good night.
you too. See ya.